You know, sometimes I forget just how far computers have come. Take a look at this photo from 1956. This is a 5 megabyte hard drive coming off of an entire truck. Fast forward to now, this little guy is 4 terabytes. On this channel, we talk a lot about cameras and how the barrier to entry getting into filmmaking is at an all-time low. I mean, your phone by itself can make an incredible film. In this video, I actually want to focus more on the computer side of things. It's a new year, some of you may be out looking for new computers, and while usually I'm talking about the Apple side of things, a lot of you may not know, I do enjoy PCs as well. And in the creation world, a lot of software is platform agnostic, as you'll see throughout this video. And while there are a lot of computer components out there, such as hard drives, processors, RAM, all that good stuff, today I want to focus more on GPUs, and that's with the help of today's sponsor, NVIDIA. NVIDIA was awesome to send me out actually my dream PC laptop, which is the Asus ProArt PX13. This isn't really a dedicated laptop review, but my 30-second spiel is that I'm in love with this thing because it has the aesthetics of a MacBook. It's super clean. The screen is beautiful, and by the way, it completely rotates to turn into a tablet. It comes with a pen. Actually, the whole box is huge, and it comes with a backpack and a bunch of other accessories. It's got full-size HDMI, multiple USB 4.0 ports, and it's great. Like I said, if I'm not getting a MacBook, this has been my dream laptop for quite some time. Nowadays, in the creation process, we have these whole new set of tools, AI. And while there's a lot of negative talk around it, like, you know, it taking over the creation process, in my opinion, those headlines are catastrophizing the whole situation a little too much, because I think there are a lot of AI tools that are actually useful to creators that a lot of us are using every day now. Thankfully, inside of this laptop is the NVIDIA RTX 4060. If you want even more power, you can actually upgrade to the 16-inch variant, which comes with the 4070. And in that, you can actually up your RAM to 64 gigs, go up to a 2 terabyte SSD. But even this 13-inch model comes with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte SSD and a pretty solid AMD CPU as well. I know a lot of people aren't super into the super nerdy tech talk. That's why I try to focus my content less on showing, you know, graphs and benchmark scores, and rather just talking about the real world usage. So for example, for photographers or anyone like me working on thumbnails and various different photos, you'll see improvements in these different tools. Like in Lightroom, for example, I'm always utilizing the different masking tool where you bring up a portrait. It uses the GPU performance to analyze the photo, pick out the different people within it, and is able to single out the various different parts of the portrait. You know, the eyes, the pupils, lips, hair, skin, clothes. And being able to just fly through these, whether I'm using the traditional keyboard and trackpad, or I'm flipping it around and using what feels more artistic to me, which is the pen and the touchscreen. And then the next step a lot of the times is I'll bring a photo into Photoshop where I want to utilize generative fill, because I am not a hand drawing artist. I wish I was, and maybe I need to scale it up or down or add some background elements. Now, touching into that Satellite 3D, a lot of people don't know what this piece of software is, and it's one of my favorite underrated pieces of software because I use it all the time in pre-production for short films, 48s, stuff like that. You can build out different lighting setups, and I actually try to like build the areas that my sets are taking place in. So I'll like literally recreate rooms with different props, furnitures, backgrounds. And then you input all of your different camera data so it can actually simulate what your camera and lighting and everything is going to look like, giving you an incredibly accurate pre-viz storyboard that you can then take on set, hand it to your gaffers, your ACs. These are the settings of the lights, the camera, the lenses that I want. But as you can imagine, simulating realistic lighting and shadows and shading takes a lot of graphics performance. And you can even see when you go in to change the settings that it recommends NVIDIA graphics. Granted, it's an older TI model, but nonetheless, it's showing you, hey, you definitely want at least 4 gigs of dedicated graphics. Of course, if you're interested in links to any of the software I'm talking about, links will be in the description below. And before we jump into DaVinci Resolve, which of course is the primary place that I live, I'm sure there's going to be comments or some people asking. Yes, of course, this laptop is also great in a leisurely setting as well. Battery life is fantastic if you're just watching movies, YouTube all day long. You get all day use out of it. If you're an extremely casual gamer like myself, I only play a handful of open world type games. All I can say is that I was able to max out all graphic settings. NVIDIA actually has a really cool tool that makes optimizing for the games that you're playing incredibly easy, literally one button. But I know you guys aren't really gamers, this isn't a gaming channel, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. So when it comes to DaVinci Resolve, probably one of the top questions I get is, what is the difference between the free version and the studio version of Resolve? Because on paper, they are very, very close. So many people can get away with the free version and get a lot of the features you want. But if you're on the free version and you're happy with the feature set that you have, but maybe the performance isn't exactly where you'd hoped it'd be, that could be because the studio version is actually what has the GPU acceleration. That's why a lot of the features that are only in the studio version are there, because they need GPU acceleration to function. For example, noise reduction, which is arguably probably the most graphic intense editing feature besides like motion graphics stuff. Similar to Lightroom, Resolve also has its magic mask feature, but instead of just a singular frame with a photo, this is actually analyzing an entire clip. There's a feature that I don't think a lot of people talk, which is scene auto detect, which is really cool. Especially if you're building like compilations. Let's say you got rid of like a project file and all you have is like the final exported version, but you only need like certain clips out of it. You can actually import a singular video. Resolve will analyze the video, look at wherever there is a cut in the scenes, and then you can easily add all those individual clips to your media pool, almost as if you had the pre-original files. Now you may be watching this if you have the studio or the free version enabled, and do you have the right settings to make sure you're getting the best performance? Just make sure when you're inside of Resolve, you go into preferences and you'll see memory and GPU, and here you'll see whichever dedicated or integrated graphics you have. If you're on an RTX machine, you'll see that NVIDIA card right there. If you remember from the beginning of this video, I was talking about being platform agnostic, and one of the things I love about DaVinci Resolve is Blackmagic Cloud. I use this to sync all my projects and proxies so that even when I get a new computer in, I can just download DaVinci Resolve, log into my Blackmagic Cloud account, and boom, I'm instantly working in all of my different projects. The proxies are syncing over so I can make changes. And of course, I can plug in a SSD that has all the original media on it and get in to do more enhanced color grading and export the full final video if need be. It really doesn't matter if you're on Mac or PC. I think going forward, we're only going to see more AI tools come about. We see it in audio, photos, video departments, everywhere in the creative space, AI tools are popping up more and more. And so I think it's important that we're going to be seeing the support for those AI features and tools from the hardware that we're using. And it's awesome to see NVIDIA really focus on helping develop AI enhanced features that use the GPU to make my production work easier. If you're interested in learning more about their RTX AI PCs, definitely check out the links in the description. If you have more questions about DaVinci Resolve Studio versus free or different AI tools in general in the creative space, let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.